Dahanjo. Hey everybody. I actually got nothing to say. I don't know why I pressed record. Why don't you ask me a question? Yeah. Yeah, and then what? Ah, who knows? Well, good talk, right? Good talk. I like this road. I like, I wish it was a lot longer. And occasionally free of cops. You know, you see a couple of them, and then you always think there's one around the corner, and makes it hard to really enjoy the ride when you're kind of peeping around. Not that I'm speeding or doing anything like that, but yep, I like that. I like this little thing down the middle of the road, the cobblestones. I'm a cobblestone fan, of course. You know, born and raised in the Boston area, and you know, we got a lot of cobblestones happening, and I like them. You know, one time in Faneuil Hall, you know, there's some good cobblestone sections there, and I remember my dad one day, I don't know, you know, rules change sometimes, but I remember him just sort of driving in one day, and there was a beat cop hanging out, and he said, "Hey, you can't drive in here." And my dad said, "Oh yeah, sorry about that." And he turned around, and we went out and found somewhere else to park. So I don't know, you know, what are you gonna do? Anyway, that was probably my worst experience on cobblestones. Well, it wasn't a bad experience. I was just a little embarrassed for my dad, who knows, maybe you could drive there. You know, it's just one of those things. You get more and more and more populated, which is, you know, not always a bad thing. People, you know, when people move in that don't look like the people that already live there, then it's like, oh, all these, you know, there's a lot of stuff said, but you know, your people moved in too at one point, and you know, so let's show a little grace. But anyway, you know, people move in, and then, you know, you get less and less, fewer and fewer spots to park, and all that's the way it goes. So maybe when my dad was a kid, also born and raised in the Boston area, maybe you could drive in there, and I'm certain you probably could. So, but at any rate, that was my first and last, I think, experience driving on cobblestones. Although I think they have some cobblestone sections in Newport, Rhode Island, right? Am I wrong? I'm thinking back to Newport, Rhode Island. I wasn't on the bike. I don't want to ride down there unless I'm with other, you know, people who know what they're doing. But oh man, I thought that those were those Jeeps putting up all that blue smoke, but it's not. It's actually a guy burning. Not the guy's not burning. He's burning stuff. He's fine. Anyway, I was like expecting, I don't know what kind of smell I was expecting. It was like a blue diesel appearing smoke, and then it smelled like someone's burning wood. I'm like, oh, you got a wood burning Jeep? That's pretty interesting. I had a friend who had a wood stove in his, geez, I forget what it was. It wasn't a Cherokee. It was like maybe a Bronco, like an old one or something. And that didn't really end well. But anyhow, what were we talking about? Probably nothing, right? Oh, you asked me a question. Anyhow, yeah, cobblestones. I like them. We got a few of them laying around my parents' house. We use them to keep the lids on things, you know, in the wind. And yeah, they're pretty handy to have. I like a good cobblestone. You know, if you ever pick up a good cobblestone in your hand and feel the heft and the solidity of it, and you just think like, man, this is from a time and a place when things were made out of real raw materials. Ain't it grand? You know, you got this heavy stone thing, and not only that, but a lot of them, and you build things with them, and you pave things with them, and they're real. You know, but of course you and I live in the land of the plastic fence, and whether you love them or hate them, our land is just decimated with plastic. You know, and plastic, man, that ain't real in my book. I mean, it's really there. If I crash into a plastic fence, I will notice it. But man, there's something to be said about cobblestones, about, you know, clapboards on the side of the house, made from planks of wood, actual wood, you know. I'd love to get back to that. Love to get back to that as a culture. Tariffs ain't gonna do it. Policy ain't gonna do it. You know, whatever self-aggrandizing, whatever happens to be in power at the time, ain't gonna do it. That kind of thing has to come from you and me, right? You like old things, old real stone walls, you like cobblestones, then, you know, save your money and get the real thing that will outlast you by generations, right? Make a conscious choice. You could put up the quick plastic fence and be done with your neighbors, you know, or you could just consider other options. I don't even mind chain link, right? Like, oh, my wife does not like a chain link fence. So yeah, we don't have a house of our own, so like, yeah, no immediate threat of chain linkage. I like a chain link fence. I don't know, there's something about it that's you know, it's metal, it's honest, it is somewhat climbable, although you don't want to come down halfway over the top of it, if you know what I'm saying, especially in short shorts. But anyhow, yeah, something about a chain link fence. And with a chain link fence, you can plant some hedges along it as well. So you know, you don't want to see it, you plant yourself some nice hedges, and you don't even have to see it, but it's there, and it, you know, it's keeping you know, some of the skunks out of the yard. They're not digging for grubs during the night. I don't mind the skunks coming around at night, doing their thing. You may recall when I was in my first Braintree, Massachusetts apartment, I used to sit out the window, the third-story window. Yeah, I wasn't full of brains back then, but I would sit out there and all lonesome and ornery, and just watch the skunks rummaging through the trash in the front yard at that old apartment. And you know, I enjoyed watching the skunks. They were kind of amusing to me. They're just doing their thing, stinking their stink, and just living life, man. Living honest living. That's what it was, honest living. It was beautiful. So anyhow, yeah, you ever have to cobblestone? You know, you ever what do you got for a fence at home? I wonder. Imagine at some point these things are going to be plastic, right? There's my great-great-grandfather. Yeah, I don't know, his stone blew away in the wind. Yeah, it was. We got to get another one. We should go to Home Depot. They'll rip one in the bandsaw. Nice little plastic thing. It's weatherproof. You could scrub it. You know? Nah, that ain't for me. That's all I'm saying. And it wasn't for old Henry Erastus, son of Joseph and Sally. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, guys. Matt the Greeter, care about you. Check out Janus Motorcycles. You want to look at some real stuff, and look at their accoutrements and who makes them, the bags, the crate for the back, all that stuff. Check it out, Janus Motorcycles, while you're at it. All right, guys, Matt the Greeter, care about you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.